Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning into the season 3 premiere of Good Children. If you want more of this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon.
Like, take the shirt off, sit on your bed without the shirt.
Yeah.
Like, learn to love your body for what it looks like now.
Why are we acting like we have to be these perfect physical specimens? For whom? For literally whom? Should we not just be people who can carry ourselves through our day? What do I need to accomplish in my life that I need to have a six-pack? The internet is forever. Stop.
This is gonna leak.
I'm sure.
It is 7 buckaroos a month. You are getting one extra episode every single Friday. That's 4 episodes for $7. I don't know about you, but that's less than $2 an episode. Sounds pretty good to me.
Our self-valuation is perfect. And don't forget to rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify.
Please.
It's been a long time since I came around. It's been a long time, but I'm back in town. And this time I'm not leaving without you. I have firm belief, and I've had this belief since I was 14 years old, that I have the exact same tone and register as Stephanie Germanotta. Hey guys, and welcome back to season 3 of Good Children.
Let me hear you scream.
The podcast where hosts Joe Hegyes
And Andrew Muscarella
reflect on our 22 years of friendship.
Growing up in the late 2000s, early 2010s.
And all of the nostalgia,
Drama.
and big fat cocks that come along with it.
A big fat schlong. I actually can't believe that we're starting with this episode.
I'm feeling probably the happiest I've ever been in my entire life, and it's because I have back support.
You have back support. You look amazing in that chair. It's really incredible that after 30 episodes from the second season, you're in a chair again.
I was in a chair for like half of season 2, though.
At the beginning.
Yeah, but season 2 is very disjointed. We were from Williamsburg to LA to Spotify Studios, which we'll see again very shortly, to Long Island.
And listen, we had a listener who said it. They said they just haven't been as funny since
we moved.
One
review.
And it's because we've been out and about. We've been moving all over the place.
But not anymore. We're settled in.
And honestly, I can't even believe that we're still, 1,
standing,
doing this podcast, 2, alive.
Yeah.
And 3, still on the way up after 60 episodes.
Still on the way up. And all thanks to our beautiful, sexy, incredible listeners.
They are sexy.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking all things sex. We are getting into the nitty-gritty details when it comes to sex. Times we've seen sex on screen, times we've talked about sex in school, our own sexual experiences, our viewpoints on sex, everything in general when it comes to that 3-letter SEX.
Do you remember in The Lion King, and it was big on the internet in the 2010s, and they were like, the stars in the sky spell out sex. It's subliminal messaging.
Yes.
It spelled out SFX. It was the special effects team that was promoting themselves. But remember the priest's boner in the Little Mermaid? The priest's hard dick?
I'm sorry. I don't remember that. Was that something that you found on Tumblr, or was that
everyone knows about the priest?
The priest comes on. The priest comes on screen, and you're saying he has a rock hard cock.
Yes, everyone knows it.
Imagine playing the live action priest, and
it could have been you.
It could have been you.
Audition. You gotta audition.
Easiest role. All you need is to have a man literally touch my kneecap, and it's over. No. The thing about me and sex is I don't feel horny as I could be unless I'm talking about food.
You get hard at food?
I've gotten.
That's not true. You're lying.
I get hard when I need to pee. I get hard when I'm getting really excited sometimes.
Like a dog?
Like a dog. No,
Where's the weirdest place you ever jerked off?
Weirdest? Why are you going to do this to me? In front of our listeners.
Where is it?
Should I say it on the pod?
Yeah.
No! I jerked off. Stop! I can't say that because I have no. I can't.
Please.
Stop!
Please.
No, I don't know if I can do this yet. No. I actually I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it any longer because I think it's actually such a memory that I want to repress. And I don't want to ever think about it again, but now it's out there in the universe and it doesn't feel freeing.
Oh my god. I had no intention of getting to that conversation. I had completely forgotten about. You told me that on a mountaintop in Italy.
I'm getting hot in the face.
If it makes you feel any better, I think I jerked off in every bathroom I've ever been in.
Well, at least it was a private space, Joe.
Yeah, I mean,
at least that was a private space.
I don't know if I've ever jerked off in public.
I have multiple times.
Do you remember your first time?
I remember my first time specifically. I think, did we talk about this?
Maybe on Patreon.
Early on in the pod.
What was it?
What was mine?
Yeah.
Oh, it was nothing fun because it was almost like all signs were pointing to straight here because it was super bad.
Oh yeah, you've talked about this.
Yeah, it was super bad. They go into that
Did you
convenience
pause
store.
it? You paused it?
I paused it. I started because again, like when you're a kid and you're on a sports team or you're just in middle school in general, people are always like motioning like the jerk off motion, and you're like, "What the hell
what are you guys doing? What is
I'm
that?
like, is that a shake weight? Like, what's going on?
What's going on with
guys?
that hand?"
So then someone explained it to me, which is almost more mortifying. So then I was like,
I kind of think it was explained to me too by a friendly boy.
And I was like, okay, I guess I'll try that.
I think my children are going to be the friendly boys. Like, I want to educate my kids on sex in such a way. Like,
yes,
I've said it before. Like, my dream parenting style is The Parents in Easy A. The first time I saw that movie, I was like, wait, it could be like this.
Because it's important, and it's kind of like living like sex education, like you are a sex therapist.
Yes,
because your kid should be okay with sex. Like they should understand what's going on. How would you approach the birds and the bees conversation? Would you pitch it as
you're my child, you're Ernest or Amity?
Okay, I'm Amity.
Okay, so you're Amity. Amity.
Yeah, Dad.
How old are you right now?
I'm gonna say I'm playing like 10.
Okay, I feel like if Amity's 10, like I feel like my kid by 10 years old is gonna be like a non-binary theater kid. But we'll just pretend that they haven't gotten there yet. Amity, I feel like it's time. Like you're entering middle school, you're gonna hear it from your friends. Like, let's just have the conversation. Like, what do you know about sex?
Ew, Dad, that's disgusting.
No, it's not. It's not disgusting. It's like a part of life.
What do I know about sex? I mean, like, I don't know. It's like when like two people just want to like kiss and rub and whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And like I know that babies are made that way too, but like I don't know, Dad. I don't know, Dad, if I want to have a baby.
Yeah, you're 10. I hope not, Amity.
Yeah, Dad, but I just like I don't know.
I actually can't do this anymore. I'm like,
okay, that was a really great way to approach it because I do believe
I have a lot to learn.
You have a lot to learn, and I think that like that's fine because you're starting early. You're starting before you even have kids, and I think that's more work than people are willing to even put in.
You're so right.
But I do believe that when you're coming to the
nervous.
I know when it comes to the birds and the bees conversation when you're approaching it with kids, I think that you don't need to tell them how it works with sex, but like normalizing that it's not just a heterosexual sexual relationship.
I think that my child will have the feeling that it isn't.
Yes.
I think I'm going to have to explain to my children that there are straight people. Like when you think about who I associate with, they're not going to know really many straight couples.
They won't.
They're going to know two.
They're going to know two straight couples.
And those couples' kids are going to be gay.
No, I think I did you ever have a birds and the bees conversation?
No, we talked about this. Never once. And that's crazy.
That's crazy. No one wanted to talk about it.
Did you?
No.
That's crazy. No wonder we're gay. Like, I'm sorry.
I didn't even know.
No one gave me the tools. But I had Tumblr, and that taught me a lot.
I had Tumblr. I had Cristiano Ronaldo.
You said you have Tumblr?
I didn't have Tumblr.
Sometimes it's like talking to a compulsive liar.
But let me tell you one thing about Tumblr. I've been on it.
For the porn?
Yeah, absolutely. I just Google search.
Yeah.
And then I would just always add Tumblr at the end of whatever Google search I was looking at.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I am a Tumblr girl.
Yeah, you're like, I'm familiar with it.
I'm absolutely.
No, yeah, I guess that's like, again, I had it from like health class, which you talked about. I had it in like middle school and high school. But again, for Catholic school, my high school health class, the only option was abstinence. There was no other conversation. There was no condoms distributed. There was no discussion of safe sex. Truvada wasn't even a thing yet.
Truvada wasn't even a thing yet?
Right? I feel like PrEP came up like...
We're gonna have to fact check this one because
let's just not even go there.
We're not even gonna go there and say that.
I know
PrEP
we have
came
some
out in,
doctor
like,
listeners.
2010.
I think even later.
You think?
I feel like PrEP came out in like 2013.
PrEP came out in 2012.
Interesting. The thing about sex in middle school and high school is like once it got down to porn and porn chats, people were comfortable talking about where they found their porn, and it was kind of like, oh, are you streaming? People were like, are you streaming on Pornhub? Are you streaming on Tube 8? Are you streaming on XNXX?
Hearing those words out loud,
I know.
Crazy.
RedTube, but I think that RedTube was like the surge.
It was kind of, yeah.
It was. Everyone was talking about
Pornhub
RedTube.
Also was.
It's always been existing.
Yeah,
it's always been existing.
I remember the day I got an iPod Touch. The iPod wasn't the only thing I started touching that day. Unbridled access to the World Wide Web. At 12 years old in the form of an iPod Touch. I was playing Best of Both Worlds at the same time that I was scrolling Pornhub at 12. What does that do to the human psyche?
And that is what I would like to dive into. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately about how porn has affected people.
We actually talked about it on the Patreon last week.
You understand that, like, when you start porn so young, you literally lose sight of what sex actually becomes.
And when you start reading Harry Potter fanfic at the age of 12, you lose sight of what everything is.
Literally, you're like, oh, your dick is magic?
Oh, God. There's a few fanfics that are burned into my brain.
No, the way that fanfic would actually grip you, or anytime...
Were you reading fanfic?
I was reading, like, I wasn't necessarily reading fanfic, but I was definitely reading porn, you know?
Like erotic fiction.
Fiction. Yeah. Because, again, like, I don't read much, but if I was reading...
It was erotic fiction.
I need to be hooked.
Right.
And I needed to hook. You know what I mean? No?
No, I don't.
Yeah, me either.
I was just like, so like, there was just like, oh my God, what was the first like porn you watched gay that you remember? I remember like,
I don't remember
going on Google and typing in like men butts. I was always afraid the government was going to arrest me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I was always trying to like hack the system and type in like men naked as if it was like for scientific research, just in case.
You were like scientific,
like
male
Getty Images, butt
research, butt,
and then like it would be like 7 men like on the beach at like a nude walk, and I'd be like, why is this doing something to me?
What's going on here? I think that the first thing that we might have talked about this, but I think I looked up dirty boys, dirty men.
Everything you've said on this episode so far is like, I'm really shocked by your openness and your willingness to say the things that you have just said.
You know what?
Dirty boys.
At this point, what I've learned after 60 episodes and I'm still going,
nobody's listening.
Yeah, it was the first thing that I looked up.
Dirty boys.
And it was like,
why? What compelled dirty boys?
I was looking up more like a man in like mud, like a dirty man, like just like, or like post workout, like a sweat soaked.
Yeah.
It was just doing it for me. And then it was literally, again, for like a year or two, it was just Cristiano Ronaldo bulge.
For 2 years?
For about 2 years.
Just
like one of the same pics, like yacht pics. There were like just soccer pics.
Yeah.
There were just everything.
I remember so vividly a drawing of Legolas from Lord of the Rings. A drawing of him like in like skinny dipping in a lake. Orlando Bloom. He was it for me. That movie did that to me, where I was like, oh no, I love Orlando Bloom. I was obsessed with this one image. I've always been into an image.
You love
To this day, I
image.
kind of would rather jerk off to a still image than actual porn.
See, I am so opposite from you. Like,
I was never that porn pilled though.
oh, I've taken a few pills and I swallowed. It makes me so sad thinking about high school. I really have been really deep diving
Because of the show about the gay
because
kids.
of we can't say the name. Well, you
We
already said
definitely
it.
could, I feel like.
Okay,
but
because of
Heartstopper.
Heartstopper.
Yeah.
And I'm watching Heartstopper and I'm just like, if I knew, and which I did know that I was gay. And even seeing them like have to come out or taking their time coming out, not even having that be a plausible idea in my head, allowing myself to be there, and then seeing the other gay kids in school, and then not only judging them but distancing myself from them.
Yeah,
this is real life.
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, oh my god, and it wasn't even like representation that I needed.
No, it kind of was.
It kind of was.
I don't think we ever saw in that capacity like a gentle love story about gay kids.
Yeah. The pain that you feel before saying the word, the struggle that you really have to even say it, other people saying it for you, like the things that are so normal for a gay experience that I have literally never seen before.
It is kind of crazy. It really does. It really does do something. Like, especially, I was saying this to you, the Isaac character.
Yeah.
The moment that I even saw Isaac get like his own scene, I like felt something where I like, it was like literally like butterflies. I was like, no, like my literal inner child, like I'm getting chills like literally talking about it, which is crazy. But like it was a moment where I was like, wait, no, this is like actually gonna happen. And like watching a character that looked similar to me in high school, who like reads books and is like the quieter one in the friend group, like watching him like get a romance arc in a TV show like that people are watching, like I literally can't even fathom what that would have done for me. I kept watching the show, and it's really funny that I talk about his romance arc at like great length in the podcast, because if you keep watching it, things change. All I wanted to do was see a single person that reminded me of me in something that was not the butt of the joke. Yeah. Like that was my dream, like all I wanted. And if I got even, I would like beg for a crumb of it. Like if someone was like even a little bit not skinny, I was obsessed with them. Like I was like, that's my favorite person.
I really like, I was thinking about that when I was watching, and I was like, it was harder, I think, for us growing up fat regardless. Like I already saw myself as undesirable to me. Right. So like, why would I then have the confidence to go up to another gay man and say, let's hang out, or pull a move, or whatever? Like even seeing them like in the locker room, like sneaking a kiss. Right. Like, yeah, it's TV, it's whatever, they're making it up. But like, I went to band camp with a few gays. You know what I mean? Like, but I would never have brought myself to do that because I felt so undesirable. Yeah. And that's been the through line
to this day. Like, that's what's so crazy. And it's like, if I had just, that's why like I care so much about Good Children, the TV show. And like Heartstopper informs it in a different way, because it's like ours. Yeah, we need to tell our stories, but like the amount of people who have yet to see a version of themselves on screen, like the way that representation is like urgent. It's not like a passing thing that has to happen. Like we need to get to the point where like any kid in high school can look at something and see themselves. Like that is like, because like I literally can't imagine
across the board. And we're talking,
that's just saying we're white men.
Like we were white, chubby, like
the least
gays in high school. The least
of the problems.
Literally.
Like we had the least issues, and still it was like seeing Isaac in Heartstopper felt like it literally healed a part of me. It really would have changed my life. I know for a fact that if I had seen that in high school, I would have come out so much faster. Because I would have probably come out the next day.
About how malleable you are when you're growing up. Middle school, high school, elementary school, whatever. Like, any person or any character you see on screen, you want to identify with, right? So it's like SpongeBob. I was like, oh, I'm so Patrick. Like Drake and Josh, I was like, I'm so Josh.
Yeah.
But then I would take their qualities and I would use them as mine. Right.
Of course. So, like, I still do that.
Again, seeing Josh on screen was a big deal for me because, and for you too, because we were like, oh, another fat boy that's just like funny.
Yeah.
Right?
You were so Josh Peck.
I was so Josh Peck because I was watching that show literally every single week. And I was like, he's funny. Like, is he confident? I don't know. But like, he can make light of any situation and people like him. So I'm like, I want to be like that.
And imagine
he was gay.
If that's, and it's just that, like, it's just that simple.
It's just that simple.
If
It's
Josh
not gay
Peck
coding
was
things,
gay.
but it's like just allowing representation to be shown on screen. And yes, we grew up during a different time and it's constantly evolving. And I think that like we're getting to a place where it's a lot more normal.
Yeah.
But like, I'm excited to see the generation below us
grow up with the role models they're gonna have. It just is like, it is not about like casting. It's not about like who's in the fucking movie. It is like literally a matter of like, these things need to be shown to children to give them pathways that they would not have imagined were possible for them. Like, and the fact that Republicans and conservatives are like defining it as grooming and defining it as like all of this exploitative practices because they want to keep themselves in a position of power, which is like rich white people who are cis and straight. Like, it's so apparent, the attacks on representation, like, because it is, I think, genuinely the most powerful thing that we have is representation in media.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just so there.
And like, again, just to see yourself on the screen, like, this is a deep conversation, but not to bring it back to sex. But again, like Abercrombie, right? Like, it can go back to all the different things.
Can you imagine there was a flabby Abercrombie model when we were 10 years old?
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
But we are founded on a country or a world where body has been so at its literal core.
Yeah.
Like, just showing core, showing Peck, showing all of these things. And like, then you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, why don't I look like that? Why don't I look like that?
And if I
drives
don't
yourself
look
crazy.
like that, nobody, like, I shouldn't subject anyone to even seeing what I look like.
No.
Like, that's the mentality that's what also held me back when it came to dating.
Yeah.
And that's why, bring it back to Isaac, if I saw Isaac at 17, I would at least have the belief that at least one person would be attracted to me. And I went through life thinking not one person would ever be attracted to me.
I know. It's crazy how long, again, that can last, because
it could last maybe for the rest of our lives.
I'm hoping I get out of it. I'm starting to get out of it, but like, it gets to a point where you develop the confidence, like, you can step into your own. But especially in the gay community, or especially my first time having sex, like, I specifically remember the feeling of someone touching my stomach.
And
I
panicking?
flinched. I panicked.
Yeah, you flinched. Like,
flinched.
someone stabbed you.
Like, stabbed me. And I was like, I felt the actual shock go through my body. And I was
for
like,
the first time in your entire life, someone like touched your
me.
body. Yeah, touched you, period.
It doesn't even have to be
and
sexual.
it's like, you're like 20.
I was like 21, yeah. And I was like, I can't even believe that this is happening. But like, then all I thought about was that. And I was like, why do I feel that way when someone touches me?
Yeah.
Like, that obviously is not normal. Clearly, we're unpacking that here.
I just remember every time I had sex, doing anything I could to, quote unquote, trick the other person into not seeing who I really was.
Yeah.
Like, trying to, like, sucking in my stomach, making sure they couldn't only see me from certain ways, like lights off, candle, like anything to not actually see me.
Yeah. We've said this before, it's not new, but when you can get out of your head and realize that no one is thinking your thoughts, like, it's...
And if they are villains.
Horrible
because
person.
if you ever thought that about... If I was verbalizing your worst thoughts about yourself to you, you would never speak to me again.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and that's the example. It's like, well, if we're talking to ourselves like that, we should not be talking to that version of ourselves
I feel
anymore.
like this has... Maybe it's not a universal experience, but like, regardless of gender or anything or sexuality, it's like when you feel these ways about your body or feel these ways about yourself or feel whatever, like, it's so easy for you not to own your power when it comes to sex, for you to quote unquote dead fish, or to be submissive, or to do all of these things.
Which
People
was also
who are
the vibe.
That was the vibe. It's
Yeah.
like, it's so much easier when you enter a space, gay or not, to like say, oh, like I'm more submissive, or like let them handle it, right? Because you're not confident in yourself. So I'm like, flip me over, have me on my stomach, and keep me there.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you, one, to see me, and two, it's so much easier for me not to put in the effort because I don't have the confidence to even say what I want.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think I'm still at the point at 27 years old of being like, what do I actually want? Like, what actually serves me and doesn't make me feel like I'm serving someone else? Whoa. I mean, like, do you think you could tell like the story about like your first time having sex and make it not traumatic?
Oh, absolutely.
And like we could laugh again?
Yeah, let's laugh again.
Okay.
Let's laugh again. No, the first time I ever, would you say like first gay encounter?
Yeah.
Okay.
First hard cock you ever saw.
First was, I was working at the New York Stock Exchange. Just like, actually, just funny in
Does
itself.
everyone know?
Did people know that I was a finance major, and I had an internship at the New York Stock Exchange where I was on the trading floor, like call and put, and like stock traders like on the phones.
Sometimes I forget who I'm talking to.
Sometimes you do. And then did people also forget that like I worked at,
You took it to Capitol Hill.
I took it to Capitol Hill, and I sat on the Financial Services Committee for the House of Representatives as the intern. Did people forget that? I think people do.
You've never told that one yet.
Yeah.
That's brand new to everyone.
Yeah, I sat in the Financial Services Committee taking notes. Answering calls, saying, I understand, I will pass it on. That was me. But anyways, I had my first sexual encounter when I was interning. I downloaded Scruff for the first time. I was like, I have a cute pic. I remember it being the picture that you took of me in the hot tub. Was it severely edited? For sure.
You like to shrink down that head.
I like to shrink down that head. For what reason? I have a small
You
head.
have a tiny ass head, and I feel like it was always like I was always like, where's that head going?
Exactly. What you would do, like what I would do, would like take my head. For some reason I've always thought my forehead was big, but it's like not.
It's like literally the tiniest forehead in the entire
It was like
world.
I was like so messed up in my forehead, so I was like, I'm gonna make my forehead smaller. I'm gonna give myself a little like a jaw, and I'm gonna take in this chest, and I'm gonna.
And how much did that fuck you up?
It fucked me up, but you know what? It fucked me up. At the time, I'm not justifying it. It gave me a little bit of a boost. I at least created the profile.
Right.
And that's actually all I needed to do.
Yeah.
I was talking to this man, Brad, for a while. And he made me feel comfortable. He was like, listen.
How old was Brad?
Brad was in his 50s.
And you were?
21.
And this was your
first time.
Got it.
Which messes you up, let me tell you, but we're not talking trauma.
Stop.
I packed my backpack. I was like, I'm going to put my douche in my backpack.
No, where'd you douche?
I douche in the Starbucks on Wall Street. So if you guys go to the Starbucks, we honestly should do
a tour.
A tour. We should write out a good children first time tour.
tours.
Did it in the bathroom. Strutted my way over to Brad's. Doorman buzzed me up. He said, let him up. I get there. He's in his undies. Pulls me by my tie. Rest is history. And you know the drill. And you know what he said. Did we say this before?
You said this on the Patreon before.
Yeah.
He said my best friend got murdered this way.
He looked at me after, and we didn't have sex, but he looked at me afterwards and he says to me, you really need to be careful because this is how my roommate in college got murdered. And I was like, I brought my toothbrush and I brushed my teeth and I met my friend for drinks afterwards with a sloshy hole.
I went on a date. It was pretty normal. Oh, no, I've never told that part of the story. I was going to say it was normal. Never forget what happened when I was having sex for the first time.
Oh my God, Joe.
I told this on Patreon as well, but I'm sitting there. It's horrible for many reasons. All of them are me. You know, like
yeah.
Most reasons are me trying to hide who I am. It's almost in, you know? I'm almost topping.
Yeah.
And I'm in my head being like, thank God the wait is over. I have waited my whole life to say I've had sex. only mainly because I remember Jenny Slate one time in an interview was like, when I got to college, like, I had sex and I got kind of confident because then I was like, at least I fuck. And I was like, I need to be able to say, at least I fuck, and then I'll become confident, which I do kind of don't think is wrong. I think once you start fucking and you're confident in your fuckability, your confidence kind of just comes along with it.
I completely agree.
Not to say you can't be confident without the fuck, but I think some people are craving the fuck.
Yes.
I was craving the fuck, and it was Jenny Slate's fault. Whatever, I'm like, this is gonna be it. This is gonna solve my problems. We're like here, right? We're like we're almost at insertion. My Find My iPhone alarm starts going off. Huh? That's weird. I didn't set an alarm. No, because it is my Find My iPhone location services, like SOS going off. I look at my phone. I have about 20 missed calls from my mother and my sister who think I've gone missing because I was in the city and didn't text anyone back for an hour.
Mind you, I'm getting text messages saying, do you know where Joe is? I'm like, I have no fucking clue. Like, what do you know? And then they were like, who are you saying that you're hanging out with?
I was saying I was with my friend Alyssa.
They were like,
and you didn't know who Alyssa was.
Like, they said he's with his friend Alyssa. I texted back, never heard of her.
And it was like a cute like couple of dates that we were in. Like, it could have become something. And I always thought he was very cute, and I still think about him sometimes. And I literally had to run out of his apartment in the middle of like almost fucking him. Was so mortified and embarrassed by it that I like never texted him again. Like, I basically ghosted him. That was kind of a final straw when it comes to my family. It was the beginning of setting boundaries.
Isn't that when you came out?
I came out like the week before, so I think that's what was triggering all of this. And my mom was like, he's being murdered by a 55-year-old gay man on Wall Street.
And I think that my situation hasn't troubled me, but it definitely thrusted me into a less romantic vibe for my sexual experiences and more of a performative
porn star.
To this day, I've been told
that you're a porn star,
that by 2 OnlyFans creators that I should start an OnlyFans. And listen, it doesn't take much to start an OnlyFans. I've been saying it for a really long time, but like that compliment is, again, that took practice. It took practice.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because again, I don't like to be bad at things, so I'm like, I'm gonna be good at this, and I know I'm in power here, but not as of late. I think I've switched from sub to dom.
Right.
But that's just confidence. I mean, I guess this is like a funny story, but this is more just a call to action for anybody.
What are you gonna say?
If anybody has a damn dog, I want you to keep that dog out of any room where pants are off. Did you hear this? Because let me tell you one thing. When you're deciding to do a little deed, when you're deciding that you're going to suck a little D and a dog is licking your toes, you might have a foot fetish for sure, but you don't want a Maltese licking your big toe when you're going down.
That's insane.
Can you believe? Insane. Can you believe?
I can't. Listen,
this has happened twice to me.
I can't talk any further about dogs because I've been canceled before for it. I love dogs. I am the proud uncle to 2 different dogs. But I do think American dog owners have lost their grip on reality and don't train their animals. And it's like they don't realize they're there.
Sometimes dogs don't have eyes?
Like, or that they don't see the dog as being there because it's always there, which is amazing. But it's like, is your dog your child or not? Because if it's your child, it shouldn't be sucking my foot while I'm fucking you.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I went on a series of dates with this man. Well, here's a few things. And I don't want to really out him because he was sweet.
He's not listening to the podcast.
I was going on a few dates with this guy, and his whole like brand identity in his life was like, he's a big guy. He was a big guy. And I talked about it with him, and he was like, yeah, well, I'm about to show you why I call myself a big guy. Because I was already taller than him. So I was like, well, you're not a big guy in that way. So I'm like anticipating a monster cock. And I get home. Guess who the bigger guy was?
Yeah, of course. You.
It was me. That's part 1 of the story.
Yes.
just a clown in many ways, which I kind of needed. I was like, I'm so uptight, I'm so type A, I could use this like ridiculous energy. I'm kind of on my last straw on like date number 4 with this man.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
really
I
put yourself through hell. Not hell, but
I
like,
put myself through hell a lot.
Yeah.
And in this situation, I'm already mad for a different reason. I'm like, whatever, I'm here, I might as well have sex. The poppers are out. He passes them to me and spills them all over my entire naked body, including my penis. If you're not familiar with what poppers are, they are dangerous chemicals that can give you chemical burns. And now I'm like, I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm still trying so hard to be nice. So I like run out of the room. I run into the hallway, into the bathroom. Like I need to immediately get in the shower. I'm rinsing the chemicals off of my hard dick. He comes in mad at me and saying, you can't run naked through my apartment. Like, what if my roommate saw you? And I was like, I don't give a fuck if your roommate saw me. You spilled a bottle of poppers on me. I finish showering. I go back into his room. I'm like, your room smells like poppers. You can't sleep in here. You're gonna die. He's like, oh, it's fine. I'll open windows. I was like, no, you need to change your sheets. Who changed the sheets? Who changed the sheets? I changed his sheets for him.
Why did
Like
you
a
change
big
the
baby.
sheets?
Because I didn't want him to die in his sleep. I mean, I never texted him
You
back.
should have let him perish. But you know what? At least he had confidence.
He had confidence, and that was something that I really liked about him. He was so confident.
And that's the silver lining. He had confidence.
What's wrong with being confident?
Demi Lovato.
Have you seen that Cardi B video? It's
No.
from like back then. She's like, I love that song, Confident. Demi Lovato, she's not even confident. Yeah, so that's just a lesson in like, learn your limits, learn your boundaries, and you don't have to be nice to someone.
No.
You don't have to be nice.
You don't have to be nice to somebody. Oh, I really think that like, if we're taking anything away from this episode,
I have no idea. This is not how I thought this episode was.
This is how it's going to go. One, I want people to feel more comfortable talking about sex.
Well, please.
And things that you might have been having trouble with. If it was body related.
You taught me how to suck dick.
I taught you how to do it. I taught you how to suck.
And I've gotten great reviews ever since.
Thank you so much. So like, you might be able to learn something from one of your friends.
That should be a Patreon like tutorial where like is you a cucumber and me asking you questions.
Remember? We talked about Grapefruit Girl.
Grapefruit Girl.
We talked about Grapefruit.
She changed lives.
She changed lives.
She was your tutorial, wasn't she?
Yes, but like, I have a refined version.
Right,
she
of
was
course.
going crazy.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's rate it in. I want you to do that, and I also want just confidence across the board. You are already there. You're already there.
You gotta fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
It is so crazy that confidence is pretending to be confident. Look at Demi Lovato. She's not even confident. Like, it really is that, though. Like, the moment you start lying, things change. Like, the moment that you're like, what's the worst that happens? What's the worst that happens?
And if you can't finish, that's okay.
What are we talking about? You mean like sexually if you can't come?
I'm just like talking to myself.
I'm like, oh, that was a personal anecdote that just came up.
No, but seriously, it's like, it's so easy for people when they're having sex to get in your head and like self-sabotage yourself. Again, you're already there. Fake it till you make it, but you might be faking it and your head is still in reality. It's okay to say, I'm not going to finish. Or, I think I'm good.
You know what? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home. Talking to the virgins out there, I see you and I hear you. Like, I think that you see yourself as so absurdly outside of like the sex world when you're not comfortable with sex, and that like everyone's gonna find you out and be like, you shouldn't be here. But it's like, you're gonna have who says that? What movie or show is it where someone's like, you're gonna have so much bad sex in your life?
Oh yeah.
What is that from?
I don't know.
You're gonna have so much bad sex in your life where it's like, just start now. Start having the bad sex now.
If you want to, and if you don't, that's completely fine. Like I'm
but if you're like me and you're 21 years old and you feel like you're gonna die if you don't have sex and like you're prolonging it and you just want to be Jenny Slate, fucking be bad at it.
Fucking be bad. You're gonna learn.
Yeah, it'll turn itself around.
Yeah, and sometimes honestly, for me, kissing is all I need.
Oh, I love
That's
to
like
just
literally all I really want. And if you're a bad kisser, it's over. Like, how have
okay.
you
I mean,
not-
there goes the confidence conversation. We know you missed it, and so did we. Our snack of the week.
I can't believe that we let go of snacks.
We talked about this internally and potentially on the Patreon, but it was too much pressure when it became the boards.
It was way too much pressure, and I'm somebody who like cracks under pressure. I was happy to start with the board, but you guys have got about 6 or 7 boards out of
And
me.
then that was-
Squeezed me dry.
Time was up. But what a snack to start with.
I honestly don't know if this is actually going to still be available by the time that this episode comes out, because they are flying off the freaking
They
shelves.
premiered on last Tuesday. So
last Tuesday. So
who made this? Because we sure as shit did not incept this creation.
Chef Danielle Sepsi made it from the Hungry Gnome, I can tell you that.
You know her from being our cousin. You know her from being on The Big Brunch by Dan Levy. You know her from being a supporter of the pod for the past 2 years.
And when we talked to Danielle, we said we want to do a collaboration. She said, absolutely. And we said, we want it to make sense for us.
Right.
For the Long Island girlies, for the New Jersey girlies, for the Staten Island girlies.
We weren't going to say go buy a carrot cake, you know?
No, absolutely
None of that
not.
shit here.
None of that shit. Today, we are eating
Our very own
Buck Nuts Cookie. We have this brookie. It's inspired off of our favorite Ralph's Italian ice flavor, which is peanut butter cookie dough with jelly ring.
The best combination. A jelly ring. It's a raspberry jelly ring. What more is there to say?
Dipped in chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
You can pop those in your mouth like chips. But here we have that dark chocolate brookie. Inside of it, a jelly ring, topped with a scoop of peanut butter, drizzled on the top with peanut butter. We made this with our own hands.
We did make these by hand. These are cookies that are truly made with love by us and Danielle at the Hungry Gnome Kitchen.
And talk about, I was saying this to my mom, talk about a childhood dream. I would stick and I would sit.
Dick.
Oh,
What?
did you go right for the middle? Sometimes it's really hard being a creative genius. You know what I mean? Because I can't believe that we did that.
In full sincerity, like, this would be like the dessert that got me through the week. Dessert for the next 2 months. Like, whenever you're like, I want a little something sweet. It is a combination of a cookie, an Uncrustable, a brownie, and an Italian ice. These are available at thehungrygnome.com. There's also a Good Children's Favorites box, which includes all of our favorite items from the Hungry Gnome.
Our Danielle's rosemary biscuit and the funfetti scone.
While supplies last.
Good children to the guidance office. Joe, you've been naughty today.
Sorry. This episode was the most unhinged. I think that season 3 is about being unhinged.
Season 3 is about living. It's about sucking. It's about fucking. It's about sliving. We're just here to have fun.
I really do love the idea of going forward in this season talking about things that people don't feel comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So first, I'm going to read some of our users submitted questions from our Instagram story. So these are just over text, and then we'll listen to a voicemail or two. A lot of women asked us cut or uncut.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Uncut.
Uncut. That's what the magic of this podcast
Do I
is.
talk about
It's all
it?
the foreskin.
Have I said it?
You haven't said it.
I think I'm at a point where I don't care.
You're getting a circumcision.
So I'm getting...
You have come through with 3 different bombshells today. Let's just really recap. What was the second thing? Oh,
I'm gonna get
sitting on
disowned.
the financial advisory of the Capitol, and now circumcision.
Yeah, I'm getting an adult circumcision. Not because I want it, because it's necessary. And just a quick little story, I was circumcised as a child. But over time, things have changed. And I'm going to leave it there. If you're wondering what that means
Come to Patreon.
Come to Patreon.
Because maybe we'll just see it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Okay. How do I tell my hookup or partner his pubes smell? Ghosting sounds nice here.
How do you tell them that? That's something that I also have experienced. And like, again,
Smelly pubes?
I'm all for like musk and I'm
like
all for
smell.
like whatever, but like sometimes they are smelly, like in a way that's like off-putting.
Yeah.
You're kind of like,
If it's recurring, it's a problem. I would just say, let's have shower sex.
yeah.
And then you get in there and you start scrubbing as fast as you
Yeah.
possibly
Well,
can.
no, yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's like if it's happening more times than once and you're hooking up nonstop, then like
Shower sex.
shower and then go. to
Or
bed.
maybe you would say, like, you could just put it point blank.
Yeah, what the hell?
I'd be
Like,
like, babe, it smells like a Salisbury steak down there. You got to get to work. You know? let's figure it out.
like, babe, like, love having sex with you, but like, it's either shave or soak.
because I can't sit at Sizzler any longer.
Yeah, I think that what we're learning is like, again, say what you want to say, but like,
Say
actually
what you mean,
say
but
it.
don't say it mean.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you know if a guy really likes you or if he's just fucking around?
I'm not the person to ask.
If he really likes you, you'll know. That's actually the answer. You won't have to ask someone else if you think that this person likes you. You won't have to complain to your friends and be like, I can't really tell. If you can't tell, it's a no. You will know when somebody likes you because they will put effort in to make it clear. If they leave you guessing, leave them.
It's not guess who anymore,
No.
okay?
You are worth more than doing a fucking science experiment to decide if someone likes you. If you have to guess, it's a no.
It's a no.
Go-to flirting move? Grapefruit?
Yeah, when I see somebody and I'm like, that's actually me at the bar.
You at the bar.
I'm like, hey. I'm the worst person to ask. I actually was going to make a video about this but in general, like, I was cracking up with Michelle at the bar the other night because I've always said, like, I want to be the person that can meet somebody out. Like, hey. Meanwhile, I'm the one at the bar that literally is looking at the fucking wall. Like, I will literally either look at the wall or look down. And if someone was to look my way, I look them in the eye for 1 second and look away. But if you are trying to flirt, I think it's your eyes say everything.
Oh, eye contact is it. If you make eye contact with someone for more than 2 seconds, they know.
And, like, it's eye contact and then, like, it's kind of a squint of the eye or, like, kind of like a... Like...
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, release your lip for a second.
So I'm like
Like,
almost like I'm a basking lizard. People asking top bottom. It's 2023. If you're not versed, what the hell are you doing?
I really like... It is so interesting to me, and this is not judging any of our listeners because they might be, like, a certain position. But, like, why?
Strict tops.
Yeah, first of all, strict tops, I'm like, what are you dealing with?
Maybe IBS.
Same. But strict bottoms, I'm like, why? Why?
I
You
don't know.
want to...
I think it's literally, it does come down to preference. But I love to be able to flip and flop
love.
and fold.
Hi guys, this is Danny. I am driving and talking, so probably not a good idea. But I love you guys so much. Oh, okay. Anyways, I have been out of a relationship for about 8 months now, 9. And I just need some advice on some self-loving. I'm on my self-loving journey. I'm healing. I'm loving. I'm doing everything. But I just want just a little bit more, just something else. Help me get through it. I don't want to seek my validation in any more guys. I want to solely focus on myself. And yeah, that's about it. And so excited for the new season. Okay, bye.
Hi. Was
Hi,
that a question?
Danny.
Hi, Danny.
What?
What was the question?
Ways to focus on self-love.
Oh, I thought Danny was saying, I'm just going to
It
focus on
did
self.
kind of end. I feel like you kind of answered the question for yourself by the end. You were like, I'm just going to focus on me, which is the truth.
Fine, like, again, it's do you want to hang out with your friends? Sure. But if you're focusing on yourself, it's like, what are the things that interest you? Sometimes when people are in relationships for that long, like, you kind of develop the interests of your partner.
Yeah.
So it's
hard to
kind of
separate
disassociating from what their interests were and going back to like what
you
brought
cared
you
about.
joy.
And I would say the easiest way to figure that out is what you cared about in high school.
Yeah.
Like, it always goes back to that. Like, the things that you were most passionate about when you were a teenager, I would focus on those. Rewatch the movies you watched as a kid. Like, rewatch the shows that brought you joy, that you felt something by, and then, like, go from there.
Yeah. Get a little haircut. Put a little outfit. Something that makes you feel good,
Treat
right?
yourself like someone you love.
Exactly.
Buy yourself flowers.
And when you're not
hold
looking,
your own hand.
when you're not looking, and when you're not trying to look for the validation from men, like that's honestly, I feel like times where you are maybe gonna fall into it.
Why are you trying to fall back into a relationship?
You don't have
Just try
to, but that's what I'm
focus on
saying. Like, focus on
yourself.
yourself, but like you're gonna love yourself, and then like someone's gonna love you for loving yourself.
Listen, but that's not the fucking mentality, because then you're doing it for the person to love you in the end. You have to just not be
it just
concerned about
happens that way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to. Has it worked for you?
I don't love myself.
Thank you guys so much for
Thank
tuning
you.
in to the season 3 premiere.
This was amazing.
This was so much fun. I had a great time. I'm so happy to be back. Like, that long ass 0-day break really got to me.
And I know we've said this last season, but like, you guys, I swear this season we're coming back at you out of nowhere with ads.
We're coming at some point with ads.
And I'm manifesting that right now because ads.
Until then, we'll see you next week with a brand new episode. And don't forget to do your homework.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. Again, 5 stars. Write a little something sweet. We need it. And you know where to find us across all platforms at Good Children Pod. I'm on Instagram at Andrew Muscarella, on TikTok at Andrew_Muskie.
I'm on Instagram at Joe Hegyes, and I'm on TikTok at Be Quiet Joe. I'm still being censored by the government.
Government, period.
By the government.
But they can't censor us here.
They can't. They can't censor it. And I wish they would. I wish they would.
This sucks.
'Cause
I may be bad, but I'm perfectly good at it. Sex in the air, I don't care. I love the smell of it. Besides its pubes and stones may break my bones, but chains and whips excite me.
That was almost like that could have been in Bridgerton.
Yeah, that was good.